Hi guys, we're going to do, make sure you're at pattern-collections.com, and we are going to do this one called Blossom. Nobody's got a video attached yet, so let's look at it. Simple, easy little flower to do. Sample just shows one. We may do more than one, I don't know yet. But the first thing we're going to do is do a couple parallel lines and make ourselves a stem. On the top of that stem, we're going to do a little crescent and then an aura of that. And then coming up from this, we're going to do like this little balloon shape. So it looks like a balloon on a stick with a ring around it. Okay. Then we're going to put petals like that. And then at the end of these ones, we're going to do 3 of those kind of coming outward. They get bigger as they come out. And then we're going to do this kind of a triangular one, this last one. And then we're going to come downward. So they go out and then they come in. And that's it. And then you can embellish as you wish. I'm going to use this piece of watercolor paper that I did. This one does not have the sparkles. I did some new paper that didn't have the sparkles because I was finding that that was causing problems with my pen. So, but I thought this kind of looked like ground. So I'm going to use that in my work here today. Matter of fact, I think I may just kind of follow this line. I decided to use a blue PN pen. If you're wondering what I'm drawing with, it's a Micron PN in a blue PN pen, like that. See? PN. Shall we do one here? I think one here for sure. So let's come up. Then we want this little curve like that. Then we want to come up like a balloon like that. Right? And then we want to do petals coming from about here. They go down to there. And they get bigger. Usually my petals get smaller as I come up, but these ones get bigger as I come up. And then the next one kind of comes in a triangular way. I did not do triangular. I didn't do triangular in either one. How is that? It's supposed to be triangular, Dawn. Triangular. Triangular, that's better. That's better. Okay, let's do another one. Shall we do one that's kind of going over, like falling over? Yes, we should. So that was the straight one. Let's do one that's kind of coming up this way. Like that. Now this is supposed to be triangular. I still didn't do triangular. Come on, triangular. How I don't do triangular on that one step, I don't know, but I don't. So I'm just going to have to live with it. And then maybe one that's really like falling over. Why is it falling over? I don't know. Got blown down in the wind. Triangular. Well, that's better. Well, that was just kind of weird. We need another one that's doing this weird thing, or else that just looks weird. Not that it doesn't already look weird, but... Is that kind of odd? Absolutely. It's okay. It's odd. I'm good with that. Okay, so let's give these guys give one that's not open yet. Like a bud. Do a bud right there. And we'll do another little bud right here. That's better. It needed something there in that space. And then do we need weeds or... something growing from here? Sure we do. We're just making kind of leafy like shapes. Could be grass, could be some other plant. And does it need anything else? No, I think I'm going to shade this one. I'm going to color this part in though. For sure. I think it needs a little shading and then I'll be done. It's going to be a quick one. This one's called Blossom. And we're going to shade this. I need... Give me a pencil. This one's going behind right there, so for sure it needs to... We're going to do all the going behind bits first. Because that's what I do. Find the going behind bits. Shall we do a question or no? I think so. Let's see what the question says. If you could have your portrait painted by any painter in history, whom would you give the commission? I think I really like the impressionistic style of Monet. I think I would want Monet. Although a Picasso might be interesting. I read a thing, and I don't know if it's true, because, you know, it was a meme on Facebook, so 99% of the time it's probably not true, but it makes sense. It says that, you know, Picasso was very prolific in his work, and that there was over 1,000 pieces of art from Picasso, but only about 100 of them do we consider a masterpiece. The rest of them are just kind of meh. You don't think about the great masters having work that's just meh, but they all do. Now, it doesn't mean that they're not considered valuable, because now we consider these people masters, and so, of course, even their meh works are considered quite valuable. But you don't think of the fact that, you know, they had to learn their craft, and they probably did a lot of work that was meh, that it didn't go the way they had anticipated, that it didn't rise to the level of a master. Somehow, I don't know why, but somehow we all tend to think that, you know, the masters just became masters overnight, and they weren't ever beginners, and we tend to do that. We tend to compare our own work, our own selves, our own journey. We tend to compare our beginning of our journey or the middle of our journey with somebody's end journey. You know, and we cannot do that. I follow Cinnamon Cooney on YouTube, Facebook, and so many, you know, she wants to teach people how to do acrylic painting, and that's her journey. That's her passion, and that's awesome. And she is a beautiful, wonderful artist. But her mother was an artist, and she's been doing art her whole life. And people who pick up a paintbrush for, you know, a month or 2 months or 3 months or 5 months or even a year get frustrated when they can't paint like Cinnamon Cooney. Well, they would be painting like Cinnamon Cooney if they'd picked up a paintbrush at the age of 2 like she did. And, you know, if they had an artist mother who taught her art and creativity, and that they practiced since a young age. You can't compare your beginning journey with somebody else's end or professional journey. You can't. But yet people do it all the time, like all the time. Or even within the group, even if you look at 2 people who are beginners, and they've both been following Cinnamon's tutorials for, let's say, 2 months. Both people started at the same time, and both have been following tutorials for 2 months, and one has a much greater skill set than the other after 2 months. And then the one that has the not as experienced skill set gets frustrated, and you can't compare yourself with somebody else. Perhaps that other person maybe hasn't done acrylics ever, but maybe that other person, and was somebody who did a lot of other artistic endeavors throughout their life, and the one who's struggling has never done artistic endeavors. Or maybe the one who's struggling has some physical limitations, or that they haven't mastered the skills. Their eye-hand coordination is not the same, or their ability to mix colors isn't the same because they don't see the subtleties of color difference like the other person. Or perhaps the other person is just practicing more in those 2 months, that they physically have sat down and worked more in those 2 months than the other person. You cannot compare your journeys. You just can't. So it's the same thing with doing this art. You know, you can't compare your journey. You don't compare your drawings to my drawings. You may be way better than me. God bless you. Hallelujah. And you may be far behind on your skill set. And that's just as valid and just as wonderful of a journey as where I am. I've been drawing my whole life. I've been doing pattern drawing and YouTube for, gosh, is it now for almost 4 years? I've been drawing almost every single day for 4 years. I'm going to have a different skill set than somebody who sits down and does a 10-minute drawing once a week. I just am. You know, there's no magic to it. It has to do with putting in the time and the effort and the work. So, but you're always going to have a beginning. I had a beginning. You have a beginning. Picasso had a beginning. Monet had a beginning. And we all had teachers. And some people's teachers are better than other people's teachers. And so you may be further behind because your teacher wasn't such a great teacher. All of those things make a difference. And just, you know, all you can do is look at your work. I highly encourage when you first start to date your work. You know, turn your work over and put a date on the back. And then maybe revisit that pattern in a month or 2 months or a year. And look at your progress, because you will see progress. I can, you know, I don't know if you guys are, some of you might be new, but on the ceiling of my studio, I have plastered a ton of my artwork. And I can look up at the older pieces, the pieces that just happened when I first started, and I can see progress between those and these pieces I'm doing today. I can. Other people might not be able to see the differences, but I can see the difference. And so what I'm saying is, you know, don't get frustrated. Don't get down on yourself if your work doesn't look like my work. It's not supposed to. Your work's supposed to look like your work. So anyways, guys, I'm done with my rant. Let's see. They asked me a simple question about who I want to paint my portrait, and I go on a rant about artistic work. Anyway, that's my passion. Making sure that you feel comfortable in your own skill set. It's very important. It really is. So anyway, you guys have a great afternoon. I am going to be done for the day because I think I'm just hot and sweaty and I can't cool off the studio anymore. It's going to be well over 100 degrees today, and it's upwards of 85 in here, and I can't get it any cooler. I don't want to waste the electricity trying. So I think I'm done for the day. You guys have a great day, and I will see you on the next video. Bye-bye.